Frank McCarron, Delancey Court. I have a budget comment, and I talked to Mr. Sander. It wasn't clear that the next session there was actually going to be public comments for budget, so I'm making it here, unless you wanted to wait.
There will be a public comment if we decide to vote on advertising.
Well, okay, so I don't know the if, so therefore I'm going to give my comment.
Sure.
Okay.
It's open.
So each year we end our fund with a fund balance that's much better than budget. So 2022, we budgeted year end of $1.5 million fund balance, and it was 5.6, so it was $4.1 million better. 2023, we budgeted $1.3 million, and it was 4.1, which was 2.8 better. This year, we budgeted 1.8. This is something I believe Mr. Calabro brought up discussing last year's budget, which was we seem to always beat budget. I'm getting used to beating budget, and now we're going to beat budget again. So that 1.8 at the last meeting, the township manager, sorry, mental note, said that the budget was going to be 5.2, which is $3.3 million better. So we're $3 to $4 million better each of the last 3 years. So 2025, we're supposed to end at 2.5. Is it really 2.5? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it something? I don't understand why it's so much better. Is it that we really don't know what it's going to be, that there's so many uncertainties that we don't know? Or is this a strategy that we just want to sock some away? You're making all your planning decisions, hiring, not hiring, based on the budget number. But it's just, it's sort of like I've come to expect, well, 2026, there won't be a tax increase because it's not going to be 2.5 at the end. It's going to be 4. It's going to be 5. It's a little, I don't know. I hope you know. That's all I can say. When I saw that the fire chief is here tonight, and I was hoping that he could address, or you could ask him to address, if not at this meeting, then at another meeting, his view on the volunteer firefighters and the adequacy of that staffing for our township. You know, I really enjoy going to the restaurants in the town, go for drinks, go to our diner for drinks, go out for meals. But I always think to myself, okay, it's after 6 o'clock, the paid firefighters have left. And if there's these nice crowded restaurants, if there's an event, we have to round up the volunteer firefighters. And in my view, I would like to see us to raise revenue to have paid firefighters from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, and then have overnight enough stipends for volunteers or incentives of other kind for volunteers to sleep at the firehouse and be ready to go. And I know Mr. Lewis mentioned the formation of this, the Fire Protection Fund. I guess there was a law change, and you can charge up to 10 mils for firefighter services. And so the emergency services were moved over. And the problem being, in my head, 10 mils just pays for what we have today. And I don't know, I've not seen the budget. I don't even know if it pays for what we have today. So I think it's something, if necessary, have a fire study done, something that really assesses a long-term view, how to pay for it, if not taxes, some other ideas. The second item was that, Mr. Fisher, you received a letter from Delancey Court on October 4th. I'm not speaking on behalf of Delancey Court HOA Board of Directors. I'm not on the HOA Board of Directors. Residents also received this letter. And as you may recall, at 413 Durham Road, the developer originally wanted to build 27 townhomes, which was a lot for that little 5-acre property. They then tried to revise it to 2. And that was still a lot. And so it went forth. The other conditional use PS2 was a child care center and a medical office building. And the issue with that, the attorney for the developer came in and said, well, we had a traffic study and there's not going to be any additional traffic in the area. The flow through is going to be the same. But what they did not talk about was the in and outs. I had calculated on my own that I thought 1,000 times a day a car is going to go in or out of that new community, that development for those things. And the developer had, I guess, his own traffic study that said 800 times a day a car is going to go in and out. That's something he didn't share with you at the time. And, you know, my personal view is that left turns into that development, if I'm looking right, I'm going to have a hard time seeing traffic come towards me. But another thing that worries me, and honestly, when cars have a hard time, they go up to Newtown Grant and go through and drive around. But another thing that worries me is that PennDOT won't allow left turns. And so cars will come out of that community, go right, go up to Delancey Court, turn in, and use Delancey Court as a turnaround. I personally, I'd rather see them build 21 townhomes and have the traffic of that, even though it's as terrible as that is, than have 800 times what their traffic study person says, I say 1,000 times a day, cars going in and out of that community. So I really don't know whether or not, with what's been approved, PennDOT is going to decide on left turns in, left turns out. It's something, if it's knowable early, I think that's good. I think what's been approved has been approved. But, you know, there's things I worry about what's being approved. I know you got a setback so that they're supposed to park in the back, but if you look at the plan they submitted, they didn't change the front to say no parking. They just said, for now, parking's in the back. So when is that going to become more parking in the front? So I know it concerns the board of the HOA board of Delancey Court. It concerns me as a resident. So I just want to bring that to your attention. I hope you have an opportunity to look at the letter and respond at some point. Thank you.
Thank you.